Well, thank you very much for coming to this little meeting. Mico, would you be kind and introduce you a little bit to the
Hans,
audience?
we finally got to meet, first of all. That's really important. Hi, everybody. My name is Mico Yuk. Some people know me online as @Mico Yuk, very vocal in the BI community. Other people know me from being a founder of everythingexcelsius.com. And then you have other people that know me from our BI Dashboard Formula Revolutionary Training, where we actually teach teams how to conform to the new BI. So we work with a lot of BI teams around the world and do team transformation. So thank you for having me, Hans. And I make the joke, I said, this is what happens when you hang around online. You meet people like Hans.
True, and it's all good.
Always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. So, just to kick it off, why did you actually come to this year's SAP Insider?
Well, first of all, I was there last year. It was an amazing event. I mean, I meet, it's interesting. I do all these events across the world, and a European audience is always interesting to me. They have a lot of characteristics that I appreciate. It's very different, right? They're a bit more conservative. But I think I came here, one, because it's an opportunity to connect with a European group. Yep. I see a lot of familiar faces. Also, I get people from other countries like the Middle East, also EMEA. People come over here. But most important, it's, to me, another opportunity, right? Because SAP talks in Vegas about what's coming, and then here they come and they talk. It's like 3 times. Yeah. So I mostly came here as well to find out what's going on. Makes
sense. No, it's been a good event so far, I think.
It's great.
Yeah, it has. So I think to go to the next question here then, it's sort of a bit of a recapture of the highlights. So if we look at the last 2 days, we're on day 2 now, we've got day 3 tomorrow. What would you say is the highlights from your end in the last 2 days?
So I have to first say I didn't quite get to go to a lot of sessions. I have to be honest there. My first highlight are the keynotes. In Analytics, which is where I focus in, Steve Lucas is back. And he's back with a force, And then we had Jason Rose and Adam Biddy do the keynote. The vision is there.
Okay.
The vision is there. The second thing was from customers. They love the workshops.
Yeah, got the same impression.
Yeah, so I'll take one from me, one from customers, because customers are the most important. We love the workshop. So I think that those two combined, win-win for me. Good message, good vision, good workshops, good interaction. We're in this whole partner zone. Yeah. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I think it's good stuff.
So looking at the actual BI portfolio and maybe taking into account what you got as well from these sessions during the last 2 days, where is the SAP BI portfolio actually heading? What's the future looking like?
So what I see BI headed toward is more of and this is what I understand from SAP, so obviously I'm not taking credit, but my understanding is we're headed toward more of a cloud collaborative environment where it's focused more on collective knowledge, like you said, the network of things, right? So it's instead of having databases that are one source of the truth, it's focused more on network and having knowledge share, collective knowledge. This is all from SAP, so I won't take credit for this. And they are more focused on bringing people together in a decision-making situation where they can share off each other's experience and make better decisions faster. Also, taking away from some of the dependencies that they're currently plagued with right now, where they can't move fast enough because they're tied to the wall with a data warehouse. Mobile, for instance, enterprise, you take it with you, you collaborate. So I think it's more centered around that collaboration space, which I think is absolutely great.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's the direction that you pick up, I think, from some of the session. The keynote, yes. Stephen Lucas, I think, did a good job on that one. But no, I think that's very true. So with that one, obviously, looking at Sapphire earlier in the year, HANA. HANA is the talk of SAP Town. Where does that fit into this BI map then, the analytics platform?
Okay, so first of all, I have to say kudos to SAP because they are very light on the HANA. 2 years ago, we were hitting counters. Yeah. One, all right, 2 bets, right? I bet you SAP says it 50 times in a keynote. They apparently didn't think those jokes were very funny. And if you listen to the keynotes, they would actually say, hey, he brought up before me, right? Yeah. So they're listed to the customers. What do I have to say though? You know the Waze app from Israel?
Yes, yeah, I do.
All those lead to HANA. I think you may turn on Waze and you'll get there through Wales. I may turn on Waze and I'll get there through the Pacific Ocean. Yeah. At the end of the day for SAP, all roads lead to HANA. I think I'll leave it like that.
I think that...
How you get there, how long it takes you to get there is another discussion, but it all leads to HANA.
That's another interview, some other time.
That's right.
Okay, so looking beyond the SAP, sphere, how are we looking at competitors in the BI space then?
Well, it's becoming very competitive. So SAP boasted a 22.2% market share, which is great. They have, over 1/5 of the market. However, we definitely have players like Tableau that had an inflated IPO of $2 billion, going to be to me the Groupon of BI, who don't have any enterprise behind them. They have no idea how to take their tool to enterprise, but they're $1 billion, whatever dollars. And they're chipping away at SAP's market share. It's very slow, right? But what's happening is they sell the allure of not having to have IT.
Yeah.
What they forget to tell them is when you drop IT, you drop enterprise and data governance, and now you're pushing Excel spreadsheets with a pretty visualization. So they forget that whole segment, and so the grass is always green on the other side. They run, and then when they have to come back, straight to business objects or BI. Yeah. So I think from a competitor standpoint, there's a lot of little guys popping up every day, but I think the biggest competitors we have right now are Tableau and Spotfire.
I think what you said there probably leads quite nicely into the next question. What is their adoption of the actual SAP Analytics, the news, the potential releases coming up? What is the customer's adoption? What is their reaction to it, and what are they doing to
So from an adoption standpoint, I'm still waiting to get a real number from SAP. So I haven't gotten the numbers yet. I don't want to misquote anything because people are going to be watching this and they know I'm very honest, right? I'm not going to misquote anything. I don't know, okay? The customer reactions I do, because all I do is sit with a lot of executives and teams. That's all I do all day, every day around the world, as you know.
Yeah.
I want to divide it into 3 segments: the product, support, and innovation.
Yeah.
On the product side, I'm talking about the business objects legacy customers. It's been a journey, Hans. It really has been where you are married. They said there's things that test the marriage vows.
Yeah.
BI4 tested the SAP marriage vows in a lot of company. You really found out if they were hardcore or not, because you had to be. I mean, there was a lot happening. What I'm seeing right now is BI4 is about to come out, right?
Yeah.
People are very excited about it, and SAP has slowly built up their reputation. On support, to keep it sweet and short, they got a long ways to go. The bad thing about a stink smell is that if I took my jacket and put it through a skunk smell, and I put it through perfume, the perfume is going to come out before the skunk smell.
Definitely. That
is what's happening. It stinks. SAP, however, has invested heavily into it. Yeah. But, as you know, you never want to fight a battle going uphill. Yeah. You always want to be the one going down the hill, and they're still going uphill.
They are.
Innovation. Sorry, go ahead.
Now, I was just wondering, do you reckon that is going to be a downhill journey eventually, or do you think that SAP is going to have difficulties getting
No, they have to. Do I think? They better. I mean, there's no option. They have a huge customer base, and they better turn and start going down the bell curve. Yeah, there's no option.
Yeah.
They cannot. It absolutely has to happen, and they agree. The third one is innovation. That's all the new tools. Lumira in the cloud, predictive is in Lumira, etc.
Yeah.
The reactions from customers are mixed. If you're an existing customer, they're like, I want to make what I have work first.
Yeah.
And I'll download a trial, I'll play with it, but I need to make what I work out first.
Yeah.
If you're new, they're coming in, they're lucky. They're the people that, you build this beautiful house, nobody sees what happens. I just get to come in and move my stuff in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're happy. I got Lumira, I'm in the cloud, I have HANA, I'm in good shape. So it's 2 different reactions, but the older customers' existing base, SAP has to build trust.
Okay.
A lot of trust was broken. SAP really has to work on building trust again, and I think they're absolutely going to do it. The good thing about SAP is this, and I argue with them all the time, but they know they have a lot of work to do, and they roll up their sleeves and say, we're going to go at it.
Dig in. They've always
that
done
I can appreciate. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think with that in mind, looking at clients again, so where would you, if you were, standing in front of a client, you came up to you and said, Mico, I want to invest in my BI landscape. What would your, say, top 3 pieces of advice be to this?
So, interestingly enough, my first piece of advice is non-technical.
Fair enough.
It's the first thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's technical. It's you need to get your team on board and transform your team. And actually, that's what we do. In bnashformula.com, you guys can check it out. We deal with team transformation.
Yeah.
Use somebody. I'm not saying use us. This is not an advertisement. The first thing you got to deal with is what's sitting between the 2 ears of your team every day, because that is actually where the problem starts.
Yeah.
After you get through that and you go through there, the second thing is realizing that these competitors that are eating away at the sleeve of Tableau and stuff, embrace them. Don't stop trying to hit customers over the head, your business users, with a tool.
Yep.
Stop talking about tools. focus on the value of what I can bring to the table. And the third thing is realizing that, especially if you're in IT and you're a customer, it's not going good. You have to do a lot more than what you've been doing because IT has a stench. Yeah. A lot of them are in denial, right? So I think the three would definitely be first the mentality, right? Then it absolutely have to be skill sets. I forgot that, where a lot of teams are missing designers or people who humanize things and the right communication people. Yeah. And I think the third thing after that would absolutely have to be embracing new tools and infrastructure.
So after you've actually introduced a new tool into your business, what is the impact of that introduction going to be to your existing staff?
So I think it can be disruptive. So if you're on a business side, as long as it does what they need, they don't care. If you're in IT is very married to tools. And this is actually the problem, right? Yeah. The business people are not married at all. All they want is to get their toys. I just want what I want. I don't care where you get it from. Yeah. IT is married. Yeah. So when you find an IT team, they're Cognos or they're hardcore. There's usually not a mixture of, well, I do Cognos today and tomorrow I do SAP. It's like, no, I'm SAP. That's what I do. This is what I eat for lunch. Business people, what can we use? Yeah. They don't have any type of loyalty to a tool. So I think the impact you're going to see is that when new tools come in, business people are going to run with it whether or not IT is on board. Okay. And they're already doing that. Okay. And that's going to continue. So I tell IT is, what do you do with someone who continues to run from you? You include. You start being inclusive and bringing them in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, but it sounds like the direction is going to have a huge impact on the existing IT teams out there who's using this.
I mean, we're seeing teams getting chopped down to half or more. Yeah.
Anyway, so the next one, I think, talking people, if you then met up with a young aspiring acolyte of BI,
which I do all the time,
what would you tell them? What should I specialize in? What would you think they should go in and become?
Particularly in SAP.
In SAP, yes.
I would say focus on all the new stuff. Right? We have all these older tools that are Webby, Excel CS, and they have a lot of older people doing it. Not the age way, but I mean, there's a lot of knowledge over there. Yep. I would take the new stuff for a run so I don't get stench with the back stuff. So predictive, mobile, things like cloud, in-memory. Take those and run with it, because the good thing about being you is that you don't know what you don't know and you don't realize your boundaries. That is very valuable in the world today. Yeah. We need people who are going to come in and push the limit and not get caught up in the weeds back here. So I would say focus on all the new stuff that's happening, focus on the new trends and run with that.
And how would you typically get into this sort of business industry? Would you have to join up with a consultancy and earn your worth?
So I think the best way to do it is, there's a business side and there's a technical side, right? So first of all, you got to make a thought of, where am I going to be? Do I want to be? And if you're going to be on a business side, you need to know your technical. Yeah. Right? Like I don't know about you. I was a technical consultant. I mean, so there's nobody technical coming to tell me what they can and cannot do. Yeah. I could call it from a mind, right? I can also talk to the business person and say, look, this thing you're asking for is not going to happen. Yeah. So I would say, if you're coming in, you need to start with technical. And then what you need to do is try to get experience working with more and more users. It's a skill you adapt working with them. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a skill. You learn that you have to dress us. Look at us. We're well dressed. Why are we well dressed? We deal with business people.
Correct.
Right? I love to come here in a shirt and jeans, but it doesn't work. Yeah. And so I would tell them, start with IT. Yeah. Start with the technical, and then jump into the functional roles.
Absolutely. And I think it actually reflects that conversation I had earlier with Luke Marson, another mentor, really and it was the same thing. The ideal candidate in current day marketplace, we are looking at the guys who got the mix of both. You need that.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And a lot of times, again, it leads with technical, because you do technical, it forces you to work with the users, understand the pain, and then you go into the functional role. Yeah. I don't really believe in it being backwards.
No, I can't see that either.
I don't know how that happens properly. People are trying to do it, but it doesn't happen properly.
Anyways, I think that captures that. So towards the end here, we are the very last question of today's. Thank you very much.
Sorry about my sinus.
I know, you're forgiven. It's okay. So, looking at the SAP mentors, I have to ask, which one of the SAP mentors is your all-time favorite?
Oh my gosh, what a loaded question. So, not being diplomatic, but I'll be honest with you, the mentor group is so unique. I mean, everybody is in that group because they bring something special to the table. With me, it could have been Twitter, my voice. I drive conversations very hard. With Martin Gillette, it could have been his pictures. He loves HR. He brings passion with him. Everybody brings something different with them. So I always look at a mentor group as a cumulative.
Yeah.
And I have to say that when I get my best super person or super mentor, it's always a collection of multiple mentors. And I may be able to pin them down better now because I know them well, but it's always a collection. That's where you get your super mentor, superhuman. I don't know if there's one person in particular I would point out because I love things about all of them.
Yeah.
They're such a unique bunch. Everybody who's handpicked and cherry picked is a rare cherry.
Excellent. I think that wraps it up.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Mico Yuk, everyone. Thank you.